Hey, Dr. Jim.
Dude, you need to get a light, man. Hello.
You turn that light on.
So at least I know who it is now.
Yeah. Both. Sorry, my internet is sketchy for some reason here lately in here. So we did the.
It's like the sunshine. It's not used to that.
Yeah, I guess so. Usually it storms and all. So
Yeah.
I guess it's just like, first bugs flying around, my internet's messed up. So it's been a while. Had a lot going on. Personally, me over the past few weeks. Giving an update, had a. I might adjust that light a little bit. For some reason, it's really dark. But I hurt my knee back in February. Thought I was going to have surgery, but luckily they just gave me a shot in it, and it's doing a lot better now. I've been doing exercises and stuff on my own to try to strengthen it up, and it's almost back to normal.
Cool.
Now, so no surgery, thank God. I got to go back on the 25th to have an update on it. So, what's been going on with you?
Mostly school. I'm not shaving because the students are all off on break, so I figured nobody's going to see me. And then you reminded me that somebody might see me tonight. No, who knows? Last night? No. This is Sunday. Yes. Friday night. Ashley, Georgia Group, Langford. A name like that.
Yeah, Ashley Langford
brought a group up to a courthouse up here.
Okay.
For a 7-hour investigation, kind of as an extracurricular reward for something. I don't know what was up behind it. I just went along to, holy shit, that's a big bug. Oh, sorry. I'm not going to break into the keyboard. Get off of there, bitch. Damn.
Dr. Jim's having technical difficulties right now.
Sorry about that. Thick socks,
that
thick
was the
carpet. You can't kill these big wood ants.
Yeah. It's kind of like those cow ants. You ever seen a cow ant? Those big orange ones?
I hope not.
And they're hard to kill. You can stomp them some guns and they will not die. They're like this big and they're bright orange. So I haven't seen one in years. But anyway, tonight's topic is jealousy in the paranormal and competition, and why is it in the paranormal so much? Why is there so much jealousy and competition in the paranormal community? Nick's here. Hey, Nick, Heath, and Nick again. And Heath and Nick was laughing, I guess, at you. And Heath said, "Dead ant."
It is now. Finally.
Never even knew those existed. Cow ants? Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm sure that's not the technical term for the scientific name, but that's what we always called them as a kid. Was cow ants. So open discussion tonight on you guys in the comments.
Holy crap!
It's a little better. What are you holy crapping about?
I'm sorry. I just Googled your cow ants. Those are small continents.
They're big, aren't they?
Yeah.
Big, bright, orange and black, I think, is what they are.
Yep.
I've never been bitten by one, but
I think I've actually got a picture of one someplace that I took at a graveyard up here near Knoxville. And I showed it to about 20 people, and nobody had ever seen it. I mean, I didn't show it to any bug people or anything, but I've got that picture someplace. But the colors and the banding is what got my attention in the cemetery.
Those are fire ants. That's a gigantic fire ant there. I guess Heath ain't never seen it before. Yeah, fire ants are small. But anyway, enough about ants. So jealousy and competition in the paranormal. It seems, and it's been like that for a long time, ever since I started. It was already evident, and it's kind of why me and Doyle had kind of distanced ourselves, because the first group we were a part of, there was a lot of drama all the time, and it was almost the point where we were just going to hang it up. And we hadn't even investigated probably a year in, and we decided to split ways, and some people went Southern Paranormal and other people went to the other group, and the other group I think lasted one investigation before they disbanded, because of just the constant drama and bickering about this and that, and that's why we were so cautious. And I apologize for the light thing. I got a light right, the sun coming in behind me. But that's kind of the reason we stayed distant for a long time, and didn't have anybody else coming in except for myself, Doyle, and my wife. And we had another member at that time who wound up quitting also. But yeah, I mean, we were very cautious about even joining up with anybody else, on joint investigations. We wound up, of course, Kyle came along. He wound up joining us. He was very interested in the paranormal, and of course, we had a couple other people. And what we did is we went on an investigation, and if somebody was interested, we bring them in, and after investigation or so, we decided whether or not we wanted to invite them to join the team. Kyle was great, and of course we met up with you and Fallen Shadows, and it just like we clicked, and it was a lot of fun. And I mean, even the road,
that one exception, and his name will go unmentioned.
I don't know. You have to fill me in on that one. That one later. But we have investigated with you guys for a long time in many different maybe different places. Why'd you guys get so big?
I was just thinking about the backs of your T-shirts. It shows all the places.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking that's a whole lot of locations, and all these people that say they've gone on 732 investigations. Turns out 730 of them were the same cemetery.
Right.
And they did 2 houses or a garage or some broken down house someplace.
Right.
I just saw a video on YouTube, or saw the title. They're investigating an abandoned Boy Scout camp. Now that's the kind of place you're going to find a whole bunch of ghosts, right?
Sorry, see, Nick, can't tell you much drama and rivalries I've seen lately, in spite that I've seen several people leave. Felt that something I just can't do myself from, because they're so investigative. So that's kind of why we were always cautious about who we aligned with, and there are a lot of people like-minded, like you, Nick, like us, that don't take it so, I ain't gonna say take it so serious. We do take what we do serious, but we stay away from the drama as much as we possibly can. And that's something we've done from the get-go after that split and all. Hey, Jeremy. Let's see, what did he say? Yeah, we've, I don't consider a lot of the people that I investigate with as just friends. I mean, we've been investigating for so long together and known each other for so long. It's part of family. And we got quite a big paranormal family that has had that last several years. Anybody, because I wound up missing somebody, and then I'll hear about that. But I don't understand why there has to be competition or jealousy, in the paranormal. It's like,
who's jealous of who?
Huh?
Who is jealous of who?
I'm just saying in general.
No, I'm trying to make sure I'm thinking the same way you're thinking, or not.
Yes, I ain't calling anybody is jealous of this person or that person. It's just in general. It seems like there's a lot of competition that shouldn't be there. This group won't investigate with this group, or this group don't like this group because of whatever. The drama stuff. Huh?
I said, those people are just dumbasses. I'll as long as you're legal and in a legal place, I'll investigate damn near any place with damn near anyone. Because that's how you find new ways. That's how you find new equipment. That's how you make new connections in the paranormal. And that's why I piggybacked with you guys a lot.
Yeah, we've had some good good investigations. I've been seeing as Jeremy saying. Everybody's comments keep the thing going. Yeah, I agree, Jeremy, there. We're not, at least me personally, our group is not worried about the notoriety and worried about becoming famous. We do what we do because we love what we do. We like helping people, as far as residential stuff. On the other stuff, we're looking for the answers, that we're seeking. What is the afterlife? What is a spirit? What is a ghost? In my opinion, spirits are just like us, except they're not alive anymore. They're human beings. They were human beings at one time, flesh and bone. Now they've passed, and to me, that personality is still the same. So, just as I would treat someone else, a total stranger, treat them disrespectful, I wouldn't do it the same, as the spirits and all we're contacting. So that's, it kind of gets in the realm of what's the word I'm looking for? Provoking. What do you think, Dr. Jim, about the whole competition and this person don't work with this person for whatever reason?
Well, when you first mentioned jealousy, what I heard was, why does everybody have the black SUV syndrome? They think that's the next step. First y'all get black t-shirts, then y'all get the same tattoo, then y'all stand with your arms folded. There's a step you have to go through to do all these things before you're legit.
You could have the SUV, you could have the matching clothes, and you got to do the poses. You got to have a lot of poses in there before you're able to, get a YouTube channel.
Well, then get on. If you got Amazon Prime, get on Amazon Prime and do just a search on paranormal shows or ghost shows or paranormal investigation, some searches like that. And there's a ton of shows up there of people with absolutely no skills to people with some really good production skills. I don't see them getting to YouTube yet, and I don't see them getting out of YouTube or that into production someplace.
Yeah,
you've got to be something really, really special and really, really different. When taps became the standard, and they hit in 2004, if I recall, and I think 3 or 4 years later is when Zach started, if I remember right. I wish I could remember the name. I've got a really good book that a lady in North Carolina wrote on the effect of modern culture on some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Like the TV shows.
Yeah, when the TV shows came out, I wasn't really into the TV shows really. Now I've watched them to get different locations, and we've hit a lot of those locations back early on. And a lot of those places that you find out that certain things in certain episodes of certain TV shows weren't true. But if somebody's trying to do what they do, try to land a TV show and make all this money, it just ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
That ship has sailed with Ghost Adventures and Taps. They're not looking for something that is already out. Producers and all looking for something that's totally different.
And that's where most people have been trained. So that's all the production companies can find is people that are going out and parroting what they've seen on TV.
Right.
So there's nothing fresh to pan to the network and say, hey, look, here's my new approach, naked ghost hunting or something. Except somebody's already been through that.
Yeah, somebody threw that out there, one time before. We used to get emails about this, like, no, I'm not ghost hunting in the nude, especially some of the locations you go to. There's no telling what you'll bring home.
True.
Imagine drama between Jeremy. Imagine if there's drama between the spirits. Hey, you get where it is, and all I get is this old house on Maple Street.
Yeah. After I, whatever the correct word is these days, I can't say the wrong one. After I transition, you'll be hearing from me. And I'll be the same asshole I am right now. I do not believe I'll be changing at all.
Yeah, people, you know, of Naked and Afraid paranormal style. Yeah. Now that might be a show, but you know, y'all can be on it. I'm not gonna put in for that show.
I think that's the physical.
And I still got the SB7, SB11 thing on the ticker down here. I didn't realize. I thought I deleted that. Oh well, I'll fix it next time. But yeah, like I said, I think it's or just be afraid. You know, they're worried about this. I'm just say it in general. You know, teams are worried about somebody getting better evidence than them, or if somebody does get, you know, some evidence, they're critiquing it. You know, because they just didn't say they're at the same location. They just think they didn't get anything, so they're critiquing. And we get stuff all the time. We get stuff all the time that, you know, we kind of throw at each other, and of course we've gotten evidence before that. Remember, crap, can't think of his name right off the top of my head. The guy that went with us. You thought that we were talking. Me and who was it? No, it was him. Troy. Troy thought we were talking about him, wanting to beat him up on the EVP.
I sort of remember that.
That was at one of the prisons we went to, and thought he caught stuff on a recorder. I think he was doing it live, if I'm not mistaken. Because when we got back, he really didn't talk to me and Doyle for a while. You know, we couldn't figure out what was going on. He had heard that stuff from EVP and thought me and Doyle was talking about him and beating him up. And it was like, we didn't realize what a EVP of their spirit was around us at that time. I was like, we got no beef with you, man. But we were at Waverly Hills, I believe, when Troy got that picture that we all were going crazy over. And then come to find out it was a mixture of the paint peeling and something else in the background. Looked like a nurse. Looked at it from a distance, but he got home.
I remember
let us know.
Thinking like a nurse.
Yeah, when we got back, he let us know that, hey, I figured it out. It's you know, this back hallway. And it's disheartening, you know, when you get home, like, man, all right. But at the same time, you know, you get that evidence. It just makes, when you do get some real evidence, it makes it that much better.
If I'm Joe Average, let's say I'm jealous Joe Average, and I want my team to be famous, I can see the steps to do on YouTube, right? So what do I do to get somebody's attention if everybody's done everything? Because I want to be better than those people, even though they've been on the show for 10 years, 5 years, 2 years, whatever. I think I got off the subject there. Sorry.
Okay. Oh, what's the next step of trying to be famous? Is that what you're asking me?
I'm sorry, my brain diverted over to Nick's message there, and I lost my place. That happens when you're elder.
I ain't gonna ask you how old you are.
75.
75.
And I'm damn proud of every 75 one of them.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people tend to forget that. It's not who gets it, it's what you get. I could care less of who got what. We're all looking for that same little bit of that same evidence, and anytime somebody gets something, it's like, if it's legit,
Right.
I'm happy with that. But asking me before, what was the next step after you get the YouTube channel, or ask me a question about it?
No, that was their next step in their progression to be better than those guys. Because that's what jealousy is all about. Jealousy is about feeling inadequate. If I have to go against you head to head and I don't think I'm going to win, I just stop the contest.
Right.
That way I don't lose.
I got you. Well, Shane popped.
Be the whole core of jealousy is you've got something I want, or you can do something I can't do, or you've earned something I haven't earned, or whatever. I want to be as good as you. I'm inadequate. That's it. A real psychology core. It's all about fear. And that's why I don't understand a lot of this drama. And Jeremy may be making the point I was about to make. I don't understand the drama because why should this team and that team? Hey, Shane, I heard y'all just went to Waverly. What'd you find? And Shane answers back, our files are locked until the year 2099, which is what a lot of teams do. A few teams will say, yeah, man, I'll send you a zip file of all the crap we found.
Yeah.
There's an awful lot of people sharing this stuff out there. But I don't think it's getting the press because everybody talks about the drama. I guess I don't see the drama so much because I hang around with people that I get along with and piss off the ones that I don't.
That's the way we are. And over the past 3 years, our small family of paranormal investigators has grown a great deal. Since Doyle passed, it was like, it was rough. And it was like, what are we going to do? We're going to keep doing this. We're going to quit. We just decided that my wife stepped up because it was me and Doyle pretty much running everything, decisions on what we're going to do on this. And I was like, I don't know, handle that stuff by myself and all this stuff. And just helped me out with, a lot of the behind the scenes stuff and keeping us going. But the video editing, it went away because I don't have the time to video edit anything. Doyle was always in charge of that. I did the EVP stuff. He did the video stuff. And my life has gotten much busier over the past year and a half, 2 years than it has ever been. Family and kids are getting older. We got sports and graduations and stuff like that. True. But yeah, like I said, it seems like, I guess we've reached out. I guess got out of our comfort zone of just having a few people, that investigate and join up together with investigations, we kind of went out of our comfort zone a little bit and branched out a little bit more. I can probably say Eileen Jones is a big reason for that. As much as I give her, back on podcasts and in our group chats and all that. She's introduced us to a few people that, we wouldn't have known, on our own. That just meet this person, you meet this person. It's kind of a chain reaction deal. And we realized that there are a lot of people like-minded like us that are in the paranormal community that are there to better understand what the afterlife is, understand other groups, and meet up with these likewise individuals and understand that you can learn from each other. So we go to Paracons and stuff. I've been to a few of them, and it's really nice to mix and mingle with these other investigators from across the country that pretty much think like you do. They don't want the drama. They stay away from the drama. They're just there to share what they do with somebody else and also learn from other investigators.
Yep. I mean, we've investigated Bobby Mackey's with 6 of us, and we've investigated Bobby Mackey's with 250 of us. It makes a difference. Sometimes you don't need a big honking team.
No. Yeah.
That's good to hear.
With Shane said, no one wants to admit that their team didn't get documented a little more than the same team. We've been to locations where, we've been to locations where we didn't get nothing. Supposed to be one of the most haunted places, wherever. And I keep hitting the wrong button here. Yeah, they do. We did the temple. That's where me and Nick first met, and Jeremy. Just that short weekend. I got family from there now. We had a great time up at the temple. What was I saying before I lost my track of thought? I was saying something.
I can't keep track of mine, so you're on your own, dude.
We were saying about Paracons and all that. Of course, Nick
family reunions and how big the community's getting.
Yeah. I know what it was. We've been to some of the supposedly most haunted places in the U.S. and got absolutely nothing. When we went to Bobby Mackey's, I heard one voice down there in that basement area, or underneath the building there.
The under basement.
Yeah, the where you have to go outside of Mackey's and go underneath the building and all. I heard one low female voice back towards the dressing rooms. Other than that, we didn't get it. I didn't experience anything. Even sat in the hole there, and that's back when I would actually, provoked a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, in the hole, you were there, so you kind of knew. I kind of threw everything out that I could think of in the book to whatever was there, and didn't get squat. Not to say the place isn't haunted, but we've been to other places that aren't supposed to be that active that we've gotten a ton of stuff. So I think it's It's more of, do they want to communicate tonight, or are they just tired of being asked the same questions and doing the same thing week in, week out?
Adjusting my chair.
We were talking about investigating the most haunted locations. Where some of those locations you guys got nothing?
Name one.
Oh, he was reminding me of what I was talking about.
There you go.
A well-grounded team of investigators, the best investigation for most investigations. I investigated Bob Makers 10 years ago. The entire time we were there, other than a brief cold spot, nothing occurred. It's probably been, let's see, Doyle's been gone about 2 years, probably 2 years, about 4 to 5 years, I would guess, since we were there.
It sounds about right.
I may have caught on what you were saying earlier, way back in the broadcast. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's been about 4 or 5 years, I guess. Probably about 5, I would guess.
I just remember it was the birthday trip, and he ordered pizzas and then locked them up.
Lock the pizzas up?
Yeah, I could smell the pizzas. I didn't see him, but I could smell them. He'd locked up the office, thinking we were ready to leave, and had forgotten he'd even ordered the pizza, I guess.
Ah, okay.
So what happens when you drive all day and stay up all night?
Yeah, we used to do that. Hey, Rich. Yeah, we used to do that, and then there towards the, I'll say towards the end, but towards before he passed on, we started driving up a day ahead of time, leaving at night, getting there early in the morning, getting a few hours sleep, and then going that night and do an investigation, and then get a few more sleep before we drove home on Sunday. So we investigate Saturday, we drive up Friday night, get there early Saturday morning, sleep, wake up, do the investigation, and then leave that Sunday night. So it was a lot better. It's funny, at least for me, the trips out there were awesome. I love,
There's that.
camaraderie. Huh?
There is that. Yes, sir.
I love the camaraderie, meeting people out on the road, especially when we pulled Shadow. And then getting there and doing the pre-investigation stuff and the little dinner sometimes, most time we used to have, and
Seafood.
Doing investigation. Yeah, seafood. But I hated that drive home. Hated the drive home. It's like, we cannot get home quick enough. But, Rich, we were just talking about the drama and the competition stuff in the paranormal and why it's so much there. Shane said we got nothing in most places, but we did explore the location on experience from the locals. That's part of the fun also. One of our most memorable investigations when it was just me and Doyle was Old Yoakum Hospital. We got there in Yoakum, Texas. The guy unlocked the place, and he said, we said, are you going to give us a tour? He's like, no, I don't go in there. The door's open. So we left there and went back and got something to eat. As a matter of fact, we had a little, I want to say a little Italian place, a little pizza place or something. No, it was a little cafe. It had good hamburgers and stuff, the mom and pop type hamburgers. And we met a guy sitting down in there eating that was from Philadelphia, Mississippi, which is about an hour away from Kosciuszko where we live. And I was like, we drove, halfway across the country to meet a guy that lives less than an hour away from where we live. I said, that's some crazy stuff. But we went back that night and doing an investigation, and it was one of the best ones because we didn't know the layout of the building. All we heard was stories about, where certain hot spots are. So we geared up, carried recorders, video recorders, audio recorders, our equipment, and went exploring. Got to a spot, set everything up, started talking about like the ER. We found the ER. So we set up cameras in that little spot and started talking about the ER part of it. And once we got that wrapped up, we moseyed on to another location. We wound up doing that all the way through the location. And it's like we were talking about on the way back. Man, that was one of the best investigations we've ever had. Just the simple fact of not knowing anything where anything is in there and just going and looking for it. Sadly, on the way home, we used to have this little Tupperware case that we kept all the USB drives and cards in. And going down the road, I was trying to change one, and I dumped the thing in the passenger side seat. I was like, when we stop for gas, make sure I check and make sure, because I couldn't reach everything. So make sure when we get out for gas that I look and get all our stuff. About 30 minutes up the road from after stopping with the gas, I realized, like, oh my God, I didn't check. We got back, we had lost all the footage and everything from the investigation. So we went back the second time about a year or so later and did the same scenario with it. And but I believe we were live on Periscope that night, and there's a few videos floating around on Facebook, I believe, on our thing of us just carrying on with the filters on Periscope back then.
Mm-hmm.
With the changing the faces and all, we were just kind of goofing around, and we were live, and there's a lot of debris on the floor up there on the top floor.
Yeah.
Doyle had walked down and came back, and we were sitting there. It's like, at this point in time, we really hadn't had much going on. It's like, and I said something, we ain't seen nothing, heard nothing. I said, and y'all do something. We ain't seen nothing or heard nothing. About that time, you hear us walking back where he was, coming back down the hall. And I stopped and looked at him because I was kneeling. He was standing up. I was like, did you hear that? He said, yes, I did. So like on cue, you can hear something walking in that hallway back towards us. I believe the video's on YouTube, or not YouTube, but Facebook. It's got the actual Periscope live video that you can hear the walking and all. But Yoakum was pretty wild. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, in between San Antonio and Houston, I believe. San Antonio and Houston, I believe it's pretty little drive out there. Small world. What did you investigate in most places we investigated before we got there?
Occasionally.
Small world. Heath, I guess, is replying to Yoakum, Texas on that one. Now, we haven't had a good group investigation in a long time. Well, I guess since Joel's memorial hunt a couple of years ago that you bailed out on us. That was you had to bail out on us because of the tornadoes and stuff coming through. I do remember that.
Yeah, we've been setting records up here in Tennessee on and off for years.
Well, it seems like the past month or so, it's been almost every weekend we're having bad weather here. You know, I mean, it's getting crazy. So it's supposed to rain. I think last night it rained very little here. Or we're supposed to storm, and we got just a little bit of rain. I think it went more north of us, probably up, you know, y'all's path.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like there's a roadway there. Everything's going straight constantly through y'all.
It's following the mountains. If you think about it, that's the way the mountains are. They're northeast to southwest. So most of the storm patterns tend to go that way because of the Gulf and the all the arm.
We got about 14 minutes left. See what Nick said. Been hearing so much about the severe weather affecting the South, though. We've also been affected up here in Illinois, Wisconsin, Indiana as well. We've been seeing a lot of that stuff on the Weather Channel of, you know, it's kind of the weather's crazy this past year. It snowed in California. I'm sure it's like the northern part, but you know, that's very odd to get snow in California. Sorry, my throat's getting dry. So I know we only have an hour. Trying to keep from running over that hour because I know we got people coming in behind us. We're supposed to be done by 8 o'clock. We got about 10 minutes. So what do you want to talk about on the next show?
You got the list, man.
Y'all throw some more topics out. We got a pretty good little list that we've got from our paranormal chat group that's been going on for several years now, I guess. That one chat group we have?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's been going on for quite a while. Doppelgangers. I'll write that one down. Do you have a doppelganger?
Well, allegedly, we all do. And if you believe in the multiverse, of course we do.
In the multiverse?
There's a whole bunch of me's and a whole bunch of you's out there. Yeah, just tweaky little differences.
Yeah, Shane and Heath there, they have their own doppelgangers.
Oh, that's
People don't know Shane Edwards and Heath Edwards, they're twins. I'm not sure which one. About a few minutes. Let me go back to Jeremy. I'll go up here to Rich right there talking about doppelganger. Nice shot.
You weren't supposed to see that.
Everything's on
Covered
video.
my eye.
Huh?
I said you weren't supposed to see that. I covered my eyes. You know what the little kids do?
Yeah. What causes paranormal activity? That's a good one. Why do most folks swear by the paranormal shows when most shows have no idea of the haunting? That is true.
Well, hang on a second. Think about how has Taps guy, Jason. How has Jason stayed on the air for almost 20 years? The same people that thought he was cutting edge in 2004 can't still be watching him in 2023 because they outgrew that stuff probably 10 years ago. So there's another group coming up behind. Well, you're younger than me, so I could say you're a group coming up behind me that learned from the TV, and then there's a generation behind you that's learning from TV, and then it just starts recycling. So they're puking out kids who are looking for something different to do.
Yeah. I can say that the TV shows haven't done some good because I mean it gave the paranormal community a mainstream. It's talked about a whole lot more. People are willing to talk about hauntings and spirits and all that as opposed to before the shows. It's like a common thing now.
Yeah.
So I'll say opening that doorway up was a good thing. But sorry, I got something going on over here. Zach Meg is, oh goodness. Yeah, there's a lot of people that don't like Zach. But I will say this: the equipment we use really measure paranormal activity. The stuff that we have, for the most part, false positives. Anything can give a false positive. You just got to know how to read what you're using, how it works, to understand if it's actually something that could be paranormal or something that's man-made. People ask me, what's your favorite piece of equipment, whatever. Me as an audio recorder, my noise canceling headset, and myself. I'm not going to bullshit myself, on what I hear and what I don't hear. So it's just that experience of doing it for so long, and then you're going to have your techniques and all that, but that you go to. But with me, audio recorder is the best equipment along with yourself. Your perception, your senses, and all that to what's going on around you.
Is the Panasonic DR60 worth $3,200 on eBay? That's what it's going for. The last time I looked.
That's crazy.
That's because they use them on TV. And what about jealousy and competition? Everybody wants one.
I agree. There was I saw, because every once in a while I'll look on eBay and just search paranormal equipment and see what's out there and the crazy prices that are going on. And there's this one guy that was selling a live audio system, much like one we had at the funeral home.
Mm-hmm.
Where you got the junction box and you plug in 4 audio cords and you run those to 4 different rooms.
Sure.
And you're talking about the switch box you can get for like $25 maybe. And the cables you can get, I'm gonna say you can get the whole thing set up minus your recorders.
Yeah.
You get the whole setup for probably $60. And he was selling them. He's selling that same system for like $250. I was like, that's insane. That's a markup for a switch box and some cable So, and a lot of it's over. A lot of the stuff out there is overpriced. That's one of the main reasons I started building my own equipment here and there to get out of the. And it wasn't even for purchase. I was building it for ourselves. The REM devices and and static detectors and some of the other stuff I've built. And it was more or less to cut the cost of new equipment for us. And then, the whole Slimer rim device kind of sparked everybody's interest.
And the point Richard's making about, or Rich, excuse me, not Richard, said he made his own portal for a third the cost. You open up the back of most of the portals, and there's a delay pedal, guitar pedal, and a echo guitar pedal or something.
Yeah,
basically, you can throw it together with, like you were saying, minimal purchases with the minimal tools.
Yeah, and they, docked them up with lights and copper wire and all that just to make it look more technical when it's not. Bullshitting yourself is fun.
Reverb and noise gate. Thanks, Rich.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah, it's just, guitar. If I'm not mistaken, it's guitar.
Some people just leave the actual pedals in them.
That's crazy.
Well, that's what people want because they saw them on TV.
We've got a lot of them. Don't need the research equipment. Yes, I agree.
They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. Trust me.
They see something on TV and it's like, ooh, look at all the lights and the sound. We need one of those.
What is it? What does it measure exactly? I don't know, but it glows when there's a ghost within 700 miles.
And TV don't lie.
It's against the law.
I've got a couple ideas for some, and it's all rim based. It's kind of. I've got some ideas on the. All equipment now is Bologna now. There's no proof of any of it. I don't know if it's been on a TV show.
Step away from the pipe, Shane.
He's wanting Bologna. That's what that means. He's wanting a bologna sandwich.
Well, that's his version of where's the meat.
I got some candy in my pocket.
Where his grandson.
On a stick. Oh, man. Well, I hate to end this good old conversation. We kind of got on our topic and then kind of switched topics a little bit, but, that's all good.
Or a lot.
Or a lot. Don't know when we'll go back on because we try not to do a weekly show. One, it's kind of redundant, and also we're kind of got busy lives, both of us. When did you?
Always a good thought.
Yes. Been a great show either way. Well, we appreciate it.
Nick, as long as there's conversation, it's a good show in my mind.
Yeah. We appreciate everybody coming in and joining in with the chat. I think it's probably the most we've had. A lot of comments. Most everybody on there we know, so it's like a group chat with us two on the video. But anyway, we'll post when our next show will be. We'll just have to look at the dates and see what works for both of us at this point in time. It's kind of the way we go anyway. And we'll have another topic. We'll look at some topics that we got and let everybody know what the next one is. So if you need me, I'm a text message away. that goes for the rest of everybody. If you're looking for us, look for us on Southern Paranormal on Facebook, and Dr. Jim's. What you got on Facebook now? Just you? Are you still doing the Third Eye?
I didn't put it on anything about that on Facebook much because of the college. They kind of frown on putting that public foot forward.
I got you.
So I just stay away from it.
I got you.
You can find me out there, but
if you go on Southern Paranormal, you can find Dr. Jim there. And Shane, Heath, and everybody else in there. But anyway, I will see y'all next time. Thanks for popping in.